cards have been revealed for the new expansion, Rise of the Floodborn. Lorcana's card set is doubling with 204 new cards, introducing the new keyword Resist, and a ton of powerful effects. We'll be reviewing the cards today and giving them an egg rating. Here's our scale. Cards given a golden egg, I believe, will be part of a tier 1 deck, or would be considered a top tier staple for the color. These are cards like Stitch Rockstar, whose requirement to take advantage of is powerful without sacrificing consistency, or Maui, who is simply powerful enough to include in any Ruby deck. Cards given a silver egg, I believe will be part of a tier 2 deck, or would be considered an optional staple for the color. Cards like Cusco fall here, where despite their power, they have never found a tier 1 deck. Cards given a bronze egg, I believe are solid options in specific decks, but either lack the outright power or the support needed to truly shine. Ariel fits here, although with the new item support, it might be her time to shine. Then we have the white egg for all the rest of the cards. I'll be placing most all of the vanilla cards in this category with a few exceptions. I'm also clumping together shift lines. We've reviewed Amber, so now we'll take a look at Amethyst. Starting off, we have the Merlin and Mim bounce package. Mim's cards are powerful, but require you to return a character you control to your hand, which makes them a perfect pair with Merlin cards, with powerful enters play and leaves play effects. We'll look at the Mim cards first, and I think Fox stands out as the strongest option. Bouncing your own cards back to your hand can be a huge tempo loss, but Fox's Rush lets you get it all back and more. She's also just good outside of the bounce archetype as an inkable Rafiki. I think there's a version of this deck capable of taking a tier 1 spot, so I'm giving Fox a gold egg. I think the rest of the package are solid options, but not necessary, so they're getting a silver egg from me. Over to Merlin. Goat and Rabbit stand out as all-star golden eggs. Rabbit's card advantage is kind of insane, even without being paired with Mim cards, and Goat is guaranteed lore that's going to give control decks a nightmare. The rest are reasonable includes, but not quite as good, so they're getting a silver egg. We have Arthur also fitting this package. His ability is crazy for returning your rabbits and goats to get their effects, but you can also return an Elsa in the late game to keep your opponent's board locked down. Another golden egg for Arthur. Let's look at the rest of the Floodborn now. Pinocchio on the run gives us another bounce effect for cards that cost 3 or less. But being uninkable really hurts, especially when his low-cost cards are also uninkable. While this big Pinocchio is a white egg, his smaller parts are much better. I can see Talkative Puppet as an option in the bounce decks, so I'm giving him a bronze. Star Attraction is one of those really strong vanilla characters. Questing for 3 is a ton from a 2-cost character. I'm giving him a silver just because I expect the prevalence of Amber Steel to make us want to run beefier 2-cost characters. Fairy Godmother got a Floodborn with a stronger but more conditional Dr. Facilier effect. Needing to quest gives your opponent enough time to see this one coming though, so I'm giving her a silver egg as an option for our strong Amethyst decks. I think her effect only applies to characters on the board when she quests, so we can't chain the same rush character the way we can with Facilier. If I'm wrong on that, and her effect applies to characters you play after questing as well, I can see her being better. Also, with the cheap shift enabler, she gets a lot better. Our last shift is Yzma. She has a crazy good removal ability, and she's inkable. She's a golden egg. You don't need to shift, but you can if you want. She reminds me of Genie, offering a huge tempo swing in exchange for giving your opponent card advantage. What makes her shine is being direct interaction in a color that previously lacked any direct interaction. You can also target your own characters to draw 2 cards. Blue Fairy has potential in a Floodborn deck, but we don't have enough support for it yet, so she's getting a bronze. Chip gets a bronze for the decks looking for 1-drops, but he clearly outclasses Archimedes. Dr. Facilier's Evasive is an on-curve option for Big Facilier, but I don't see him being the best choice. He gets a white egg. Elsa is in a similar boat, but her Challenger ability lets her trade into Rockstar Stitches, and Big Elsa is an important card to get down early. I can see her being an option for Big Elsa deck, so she gets a bronze egg. This Fairy Godmother isn't what we want. She gets a white egg. Heihei is gorgeous and pretty annoying to take care of. I want to give him a silver for being an option in control decks and just an overall solid 2-cost character. Jiminy Cricket will be better with a 1-cost Pinocchio, but for now he's a white egg. Cusco I like as an option in any deck with some 2-cost songs to sing. I'm giving him bronze just because I think Heihei edges him out. Peter Pan's Shadow can do a lot of work for rush decks, but I don't think we have enough good rush cards yet, so it's getting a bronze for now. Winnie the Pooh gets a bronze because his stat line is reasonable for decks looking to sing 5-cost songs. Being able to trade with Maui is what's making him playable, but I don't need much of an excuse to play with this art. Onto the items. We have Binding Contract. This does a lot at letting us keep control of the field, but as a 4-cost uninkable card, I don't see it. White egg. Croquet Mallet is a nice cheap item for item decks. I'm giving it a bronze for its playability there. Perplexing Signposts isn't necessary for the bounce decks, and there's stronger cards if you want this effect. It's getting a white egg. The Sorcerer's Spellbook finally gives control a way to close out the game. This isn't a 4 of, but it is a golden egg and a great tool against whatever control deck emerges as the best for the upcoming meta. Onto actions, we have I'm Stuck as an inkable cheap disruptive card. I can see this as an option in some tempo decks the same way Befuddle has been. It gets a bronze from me. Gruesome and Grim is interesting with cheap singers like Cinderella, and it pairs well with Merlin cards, but I don't see it making it in the top lists. It gets a bronze from me. Legend of the Sword and the Stone isn't worth a card in your deck. White egg. That's it for Amethyst cards in Rise of the Floodborn. Let me know in the comments below if you think I mis-evaluated any of these, and give me your top 5 from the set. I'm sure after the meta settles there will be some hits and misses. If you want to hang out and chat, or have any suggestions or questions, you should join the Discord. Thank you so much for watching. Have a magical day.